My name is Sensei David. I am the founder of Judo Movement.
How long have you been training judo for, and how long have you been teaching for?
I've been training judo for a couple of years. I started in 1975 and I started teaching in 1990.
Your background, you're a little bit of a globetrotter. Where did you start, and how did you end up in New Jersey?
I started off judo back in Nigeria, in West Africa. I traveled to Germany after my college education, where I continued with my judo. I wanted to make a living out of teaching judo. I wanted that to be what kept me going because judo is my passion. And the only place this dream could come true was in the United States of America. And ever since I came here, God has been so good. My dreams came true.
Why do you feel like you've had such an opportunity in the United States to make that possible in comparison to Germany or Africa or even other places you've had the chance to train at or teach?
In Germany, you have an oversaturated market. We have judo clubs everywhere. You have some of the best judokas in the world right there. Me being in Germany was a learning process. It refined my judo skills from Africa, where they made me focus on techniques and not power. So I did my coaching education in Germany, and America right now is slowly growing into the judo world. Judo here is not as popular as football or wrestling. So the best place to try out a judo school was in the United States of America. This was my full-time job in Germany. I wasn't too happy doing this. I wanted a job I could wake up to in the morning and go to the job with a smile. I made a lot of money doing that, but I wasn't happy. But each time I am driving out of my house today, coming to this place, if I'm leaving the house at 6 a.m., I'm singing while driving here because I love what I do. And this is what I always wished for, and the only place it could really happen was in the United States.
Can you talk a little about your competitive career, a little bit of your accolades before you started teaching?
I competed back in Nigeria too. I represented my university, the University of Benin. We have what they call the Nigerian University Games, NUGA. I coached the University of Benin in 1992 to the NUGA Games, and under my coaching, we did very well. In Germany, I fought in the Bezirksliga, which is like, should I say, Division 4 hobby judo. From there, we qualified to the Landesliga, which is next up there. And that gave me a chance to train with a lot of guys that were in national teams. The second Bundesliga, I was invited to that. But because of my full-time job, I didn't. If you don't have the full-time to really train and to avoid unnecessary injuries, so I had to slow it down a little bit.
What has your experience been like? Obviously, I know about Liberty Boxing, but the different locations you've gotten to train at before you've gotten your own business that you can call yours.
I came here a black belt in judo, very refined and experienced because this happens to be my third continent of training judo. So along the way, I've gathered a lot of experience. I've trained with different nationalities, different people representing different national teams. From them all, I took a little bit of knowledge with me. Trained with the Russians, with the French, the Germans, the Holland guys, the Spanish guys. I took all that knowledge with me to be able to use as mine. But I came here a complete white belt in business. So I had to learn under different gyms how to make my passion feed me. So from the different locations that I had to work from California to the East Coast, I've been able to learn the business side of running a school. And this school was opened in 2012. I made my tons of mistakes, but slowly along the line, I have learned to correct those mistakes.
Judo, why do you think it's so important as a sport to teach and to give back to the community and all these things? Why is it important to teach kids? I know your kids program is very big, so why is it important for kids to know judo?
That's a very interesting question. You see, me growing up as a little kid, I started judo because my older brother was a judoka. Me seeing him dressing up in his gi, going to train with the other kids, I always wanted to do it. You see, when I started judo, judo gave me a kind of focus that was intense. When other kids were out on the street doing other stuff, I was at the dojo training because I wanted to compete. It gave me a focus. It kept me away from drinking because I wanted to be at my peak. It kept me away from drugs because I wanted to be at my peak. You cannot go into a competition drunk or using drugs. So the focus and passion of judo kept me away from all these things until today. I still learn to maintain my weight because of judo. Because at the later part, I fought in the 81 kilograms. Till today, a retired judoka, nearly 50, I still maintain my weight. I still weigh 81 or 82 kilograms. Sometimes I'm even under 81. Nothing more than 82 kilograms. Judo taught me how to do that. Now with the kids, in America, we have a lot of stuff going on. We have kids who are depressed, even adults. We have adults who have weight issues or tired of regular gym training. We have a form of judo where they only do the cardio form of it to help them maintain their shape, lose weight, and have fun doing it. And at the same time, learn a form of self-defense. Because the confidence of judo is if you have to defend yourself, you know exactly what to do.
Why is it important as an instructor to present judo in its purest form to your students and not, kind of go with the times and cross-train? Why do you specialize in judo and not, add other styles into your program?
I did a couple of other sports along with judo. I boxed a little bit. My late uncle was a boxer in Nigeria. But judo had a kind of thing for me where I was 100% in love with judo. And judo is an individual sport where your mistakes are yours, your winnings are yours. So you make your mistakes, you correct them. You strive to be better than you were yesterday. It pushes you to the limit where you feel you are done, but at the end of the day, when you're done with judo, you feel good.
As an instructor, how important is it? I know you've had students like him here who have been with you a long time. How is that education process? How important is it to you, and how can other instructors apply that same type of long-term retention to having kids? So what did you start when you were like 8, 10?
No, it was 10.
10, so 10, you're 18, 19 now?
19 years.
19, so almost a decade from,
Yeah. The thing about that is judo is a family. It's not just teaching them and walking away. When you teach judo to the young ones, you're speaking life into them. Your job as a judo sensei is to protect your students in every way you can, making sure they learn how to break their falls properly so they don't get hurt during training, and teaching them the etiquettes of judo, which is respect, be humble to your opponents. You see, when we compete in judo, when I'm throwing my opponent, your opponent's life is in your hands. Your job is to preserve your opponent's life while winning. That's why we call it the gentle way. Now, the goal of judo is not to destroy your opponent, because without your opponent, you cannot grow. When we teach kids to be humble, to show respect, not only to their instructors and teammates, but also to their opponents, the more they learn this from the sensei at the dojo, it becomes a part of life. They take some of this home with them. When they are on the mat, they only focus on the instructor and listen. You don't have the kids talking. They don't talk back to the instructors. When they get home, when their parents are talking to them, they show the same respect. You repeat that pattern 100 times, it becomes a habit. So for me, it's important that the little kids learn the respect and humility in judo. It's not just an Olympic sport, it's a way of life. What we learn at the dojo, we take it outside of the dojo. You can't walk with your shoes on the mat. You have to bow when you step on the mat, bow when you step off the mat. And for me, the most important one that I had to learn as a kid was the life of your opponent is in your hands. So even while throwing my opponent to win, I am making sure I'm not trying to hurt him.
As a self-defense, I know you had a little bit of run-ins at various places and times, but especially when you came from Africa to Germany, how important was judo as a self-defense to you in your own experience?
You see, for me, judo played a role because when I left Africa towards the beginning of 93, end of 93, I traveled through the Sahara Desert to get to Europe. We had to travel through the Sahara Desert, going from one village to the other. This was all illegal travel. And sometimes we fell into the hands of other travelers who were bigger and stronger. Them feeling maybe you had a couple more dollars in your possession might want to force it out of your hands. 2 or 3 times judo came in handy. Where out there, it's the survival of the fittest. And the 2 or 3 times where I had to defend myself, they soon realized that something was up with me. Now, I learned something in judo that you do not quit. It took me 2 good years to travel across the Sahara Desert. I had to work in Algeria for a couple of months, going to a year and a half, to raise enough money before I traveled from there to Morocco, from Morocco into Spain, where I was given the first European resident permit. And I was able to get a job. And I wanted more for myself. Being born in Africa, where the opportunities are not as much as it is in the United States, judo prepared me for that journey. Because if I was not a judoka, I doubt if I would have survived it. I went into that desert knowing if I had to defend myself, I could defend myself. I only wanted a better life for myself. So when I left Nigeria in 93, traveling through the Sahara Desert, through Niger Republic into Algeria, judo was my go-to. The motto was, it was rough. People were turning around. I had learned in judo, do not quit till the fight is over. And for me, the fight wasn't over. I wanted a better life. That's why I kept going. I got to Spain. I was working in the farms, trying to make a living, but I knew that was not what I wanted to do all my life. I studied medical microbiology from one of the best universities in Nigeria, so I wanted more. I went into that desert speaking 2 languages, English and my native Nigerian language, Edo. But by the time I got out of that desert, I came out speaking about 5 languages, which was like, whoa, how did you do it? He said, going through that desert, I found my gift from God, which was the gift of languages. I picked up the French so I could talk to the indigenes, I get a job and move on. I picked up Spanish, I picked up German, and I picked up Arabic. So the more these people realized I spoke these languages, the more they took me in. So from Spain, I went to Germany, where life went well. But I wanted more because I wanted to do something that I could do till 100 years old. And ever since the day I stepped foot on the United States of America, I knew this was the place I wanted to be because here the opportunities are all over the place. I came to America with 2 suitcases. The first one was filled with dreams. The second suitcase was filled with hope. Realizing I can become whatever I want to become if I work hard at it. I came here with the message of Hillary Clinton in my head that this is still the only country in the world where a dishwasher can dream of becoming a millionaire. I started off at one gym cleaning the floors, teaching one or two judo classes. While doing it, I still kept my hopes and dreams alive that one day I was going to get it. People might ask me why I keep that picture there. I keep that picture there to remind me of where I started from. When sometimes the body is getting tired, I take a look at it, I wake myself up. I do not want to go back to that level no more. I get up and keep going. And I'm giving the glory to God because He brought me to a country where the opportunities are all over the place. It's still the only country in the world. Across Europe, if you are not born a millionaire, you want to work and become a millionaire, you're going to work forever. But in America, if you believe you can achieve it and you have the mindset to do it, it will come to pass. It's only here in America. So I'm grateful for that. I came here with judo and I'm not done yet. I have a lot of kids that have become so passionate about judo. I'm getting older. My dream now is that God should give me the strength to get to the end goal, to build a permanent dojo for the kids. So that when I'm no longer here, they don't have to think of moving to another place or paying rent or have the issues. Because the goal of judo is to spread the message of judo, make that location permanent so that the monthly fees can eventually go down. I brought judo to South Jersey because this was the area that needed it. An area where you have a lot of youth involved in crime because they have no activities. You have single moms with 5 kids. She can't pay a regular gym at about 160 for one kid. So this was one of the reasons why I brought judo here to South Jersey. And I have a second location right now in Millville, happening inside the Cornerstone Community Church. The church is working to get the kids off the street. So the pastor gave us the space, and right now the judo is free for all the kids and youth of Millville. That location is running off donations, 40-50% coming from people who heard about the program, and the rest is being put in by judo movement.
As an instructor and as a teacher, what is your goal besides judo and respect and everything? What are your goals for your students? I know you talk about you want an Olympic medal and these things, and judo offers scholarships and stuff like that. So as a coach and instructor, how do you instill that into your students to help them reach those particular goals in their life? Getting a scholarship to college, getting a gold medal, judo's a little different than jiu-jitsu because it has those scholastic opportunities.
Yeah. You see, the only way I can make my goals come true is when I sell the passion of judo to the students. You see, my coaches believed I was going to be an Olympic candidate and maybe win an Olympic medal, so my coaches could touch it and say, yes, this student came through my hand. Injuries and my studies did not make that happen. I too have the belief I can make the dreams of my coaches that I still carry on my shoulder happen. If I don't see it in my lifetime, I know one of my students who will eventually become a coach might achieve it. So what I do is I sell the passion. When they become passionate about judo, they strive to be the best. So they're striving to be national champions and be able to represent the nation, eventually making it to the Olympics. That's my goal as an instructor, to have one of my students show up at the Olympics and represent the United States of America.
How important is fitness to judo? and how important it is as an instructor. You talked about weight before, staying in shape and staying active.
You see, judo competition involves you being in a specific weight class. If you are fighting in the 060 kilograms or 73 kilograms, it means you cannot weigh above what you're supposed to fight. So judo teaches you to eat right and maintain a specific weight. And through the years, when you do that, it becomes a way of life. Repeat a thing 100 times, it becomes habit. So throughout the years of me maintaining my 81 kilograms, till today I'm retired, I'm still weighing 81 kilograms. I can't remember me weighing 100 kilograms, or it's impossible, because my body has gone into the mode of still competition. I have to maintain my weight. Even when I eat, I watch the portions of what I eat. All this I got through judo. This is why judo has a huge part to contribute to fitness. I don't even have to lift weights. All the activities of judo, you trying to throw somebody, him trying to throw you, you're burning up a lot of calories and you're maintaining your weight.
If you had to give another instructor or an up-and-coming instructor some advice about mistakes you made in the past, what would they be so that they don't repeat those things, or maybe you can take some nuggets from that to go off of?
One of the biggest mistakes I would say is you have to learn to protect your students. Some students would want to even train while injured. I know you love judo, but your health is more important than the judo. Some would come in with bad knees and want to train. You are only going to make that knee worse. We wanted to prove we were tough by continuing to train with the broken limbs and all that, but today it's not helping me, where my knees are now completely messed up. So I would advise any young and upcoming instructor to always look out for his students. Your job as an instructor is to focus on your student. Your students, if you want them to stay in the limelight for as long as possible, it's your job to watch over them like a mama bear. You see them trying to get themselves up, you have to stop them and redirect them. That's why you are the sensei. Your time as a fighter is gone. The senseis in judo, we belong in the darkness. We try to keep our students in the limelight. So we see them dancing out of it, we're pushing them back in. So that's my advice to the young and upcoming instructors. Look out for your students and let them train the right way.
What would be the biggest point of business advice that you would give to an up-and-coming martial arts instructor to make sure, they don't make those business mistakes as well?
The best one would be, you see, most judo coaches were so passionate about what we do that we are even ready to train people for free. You see, that was one of the things I did, where I said I had to learn to let my passion put bread on my table. If I had not listened, or if I had not learned the business side of this whole thing wouldn't be here today. So the young and upcoming instructors, you loving judo as you do, you have to find a point between your passion and your business, where your business, your passion should be able to take care of you. So you getting paid to do what you do is not a bad thing. So my advice to them is learn a little bit of the business side so that you can survive. Because if you don't, you're going to teach for free. They won't value it, especially here in America. And you're going to end up losing the spot where you train. So I had to learn a lot of that. I had to cut off a lot of dead branches to keep judo movement alive. I'm still in the learning process. But for the 7 years we've been in business, God has been good to us. We've come a long way. We're still here.
All right, for the last question, how important is staying flexible as a business owner, as a martial artist, and everything that you do? How important is it to stay flexible with the changing of the students, the changing of the martial arts? There's a lot of things that go on as a martial arts instructor. How important is it to stay flexible in just about everything you do?
Now,
And
you
where do
see,
you find how good is it to be flexible, and where do you find the routine and stringency to stay,
the thing is, I learned the old school judo where we do a lot of nage waza and ni waza. Now, the world of martial arts is changing today. It's all moving strictly into MMA, showing which martial arts is going to be more effective for me to compete in MMA. You, as the martial art instructor, you should be flexible. You should be able to change with the changing tides. I teach judo with the gi, and I teach judo without the gi. So those who fight in the cage, wanting to learn judo takedowns that they can use for MMA and BJJ, I do it all for them. So you have to be flexible. And what keeps you going straight is the judo discipline. You must stick to the morals of judo. You will survive if you do that.
Actually, I'm sorry, one last question. How do you stay passionate and engaged as an instructor who's been doing it for a long time? And how do you continue to stay passionate? How do you keep the passion going from, way back when until now? What is the thing that keeps you going and motivated?
What really keeps me going is the competitions we go to. When you see how well your students are doing against established schools, schools that have been around for over 25 years, schools that have up to 10 and 20 instructors teaching at the school, and you are the only instructor here, we go to competitions and we give them one hell of a fight. It keeps me going. The success of my students is what keeps me going. The potentials I see in my students is what keeps me going. Knowing I can help these potentials they have in them get probably one day winning nationals and to the Olympics. So when I see this potential that I don't have anymore because the fire is dwindling in me, I see the fire burning brightly in them. I help them keep the fire alive. So me seeing the potential of the fire growing, them winning and how they win, it keeps me going. Their success is what keeps me going.